happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely going to want to see this one. As we're witnessing yet another explosion on the set, ABC is the view, aka the spew. This time we got that insane host Whoopi Goldberg who cannot get it under control, guys. I'm excited to get into this one, so we're not straight into it. Just make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we even get into it, you guys hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button for your boy. And without further ado, let's get straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Are we the other side he's talking about?
He goes on to say that the opposition party is the media. And he says they can only focus on one thing at a time. All we have to do is flood the zone. Every day we hit them with 3 things, they'll bite on one. But we've got to start with muzzle velocity, doing it all the time, all the time, all the time. And if you look at social sciences, they have studied this. And one sociologist in particular, Jennifer Walters, she makes this really interesting point that she says this is a deliberate tactic used by regimes, used by powerful entities to manipulate and control people by bombarding them with so much information that they feel overwhelmed. It's called the shock and awe tactic. And so you've got this rapid influx of information or change, and it creates this sense of disorientation and fear that I think a lot of us are feeling.
They done lost it, y'all. I'm sorry to say, but this right here, they done lost. They had to have lost their minds. I mean, this shows you how good the Trump administration is. No, we're doing great. If this is the state that the left is in, if this is any representation, we're doing exactly what we need to do because they're lost. Like, come on now, this is what you're coming to? Oh my goodness, guys, listen to it.
Overwhelmed. It's called the shock and awe tactic. And so you've got this rapid influx of information or change, and it creates this sense of disorientation and fear that I think a lot of us are feeling. And it makes it difficult to critically analyze and then, of course, react appropriately. So the suggestion that has been made, and Whoopi, you've said this over and over again, that you take the time to process the information, you prioritize the key issues, and you build community support to share the burden of understanding what's really going on. And
this is all common sense. I mean, something breaks, you process it, you take it in. Only reason why it's, causing such problem on the left, apparently, we're seeing that they're just overwhelmed, exhausted with how much news is breaking or updates are happening coming to the Trump administration because they're actually getting things done. I mean, it's a huge difference comparison from what we're seeing or what we've seen the last 4 years with the prior administration where there was no developments, nothing going on. We probably got one story, one update that broke once a month or once every other week. You know what I mean? We weren't getting much at all. So for Donald Trump, his administration to come in there and start moving at light speed, it's just too much for the Dems to handle it. It's showing. Look at Sunny Host, and she's lost.
And you build community support to share the burden of understanding what's really going on, and then you can respond collectively to the situation.
When you watch the barrage of actions, and by the way, I've never been a fan of executive orders by either party because the whole point of having Congress pass laws is those are the elected officials. But this lambasting of everything is why some of us, including myself, said that he was a threat to democracy, Donald Trump. People said it's hyperbole, it's dangerous talk. No, it was literal talk. What we said was there's a reason there's foundational 3 parties. If we start to skew those lines and the vice president is now shopping around that the courts can't stop the president, this is the beginning of the problem.
A couple of things. Keep in mind that when Donald Trump was out of office for 4 years, he more or less had a presidency in waiting down in Florida. He had policy staffers, he had advisors that actually called him Mr. President. So he's coming in with a policy agenda that he had been working on, and he was ready to go on day one. And what makes it very different than the first Trump term is he didn't really know how things worked. And now he's got a sense of this is how you can get around the courts potentially. This is how you bypass Congress. This is how you can do things quicker. There are major pros and cons to that. But one of the things he is excellent at, and the media takes the bait often, is he writes himself into every story. Like, just thinking about it, he didn't just do the Super Bowl interview. He attended the Super Bowl. When we have the astronauts stuck on the International Space Station, Elon Musk was already going to get them, but he took credit. I'm going to get the astronauts back. When TikTok was down to 167 million people, thank you, Donald Trump, that we're back up.
It's not that he writes himself in the story necessarily. This guy is just that involved. I mean, like, come on. You see Donald Trump, he is everywhere. I don't even see where this guy has time or fits in his schedule to sleep. The way that he is just all over the place. Just seen him at, what was it? I want to say the Daytona 500 ripping laps around the track. I mean, come on. This is stuff that you would never see this guy Joe Biden doing. It'd be somewhere on a beach. That's all we know Joe Biden for is the beach, man. Donald Trump, this guy does not sleep. As soon as his eyes are open, I guess he just boots to the ground, working nonstop. This is what we truly need a commander-in-chief to do, though.
Down to 167 million people. Thank you, Donald Trump, that we're back up. He is working in a 21st century media environment that is outpacing the traditional media, but also the opposition. I think Dems are kind of playing on a 1990s playbook of like, if I go speak on the Senate floor or if I go on Meet the Press, it's going to stop him. And they've got to get quick and smart if they're wanting to push back and how people are communicating now, because
they have to unify.
He knows how to overwhelm the system.
What I think Democrats need to do, the opposition, the resistance, whatever you want to call the folks that are against everything that Donald Trump is doing, we need to have a way of reaching people, whether it's social media, whether it's a website, whether it's what, so that people can understand what is happening. And I absolutely think we need to form alliances, and we can't just be groups, individual groups, right? Because Latinos are super upset by the fact that he's racially profiling as a portraying immigrants like everybody's a criminal. Arabs now and the people who sympathize with Palestine are super upset because he's trying to treat it as a real estate deal. Women, African Americans upset over the DEI stuff he's trying to dismantle willy-nilly. LGBTQ people, well, we all need to come together and show them that we're mad as hell and we're not going to take it.
Oh my, and that's right there. You hear it. You guys need to come out and show your math. More of the fake outrage narrative that these ladies, I don't know if I should be calling them that, but on the set of ABC's The Spew, I always try to push out there. I mean, no one is upset. These ladies have to remember that they are a part of the minority. The majority of the country voted for exactly what we're seeing being played, carried out right now. And once again, the Dems are showing us that they don't understand. They just don't get it.
Take it anymore.
But people also have to get out of their echo chambers, because everyone was like, Project 2025, Project 2025. If you hated Project 2025, that worked for you. If you weren't super clear or you liked some parts of it but not others, Democrats have to be willing to go to uncomfortable spaces.
I think this is beyond Democrats and Republicans.
Exactly. And I find it funny. It's always Alyssa, Farah, Griffin that's trying to bring a little bit of reality back onto the set. I don't know how much longer they're going to allow her to do that, but she's saying they need to get out of their echo chamber. We've already seen Sonny and others saying, hey, we need to, when all these updates are coming out, we need to get together and form an opinion together and then echo it all out of our echo chambers. That's exactly what she's saying. Alyssa Farah Griffin's like, no, let's stop that. Let's, be willing to cross our party lines, speak to, folks that have differing viewpoints and positions. That's what we need, and I feel like it's always the right that's being the bigger person and able to step across and speak to the Dems, where it's never the Dems able to step across and speak to the Republicans. It needs to change.
That you're right, actually, and I don't like the labels of all of it, because I think most people are multifaceted and don't just fit into one bucket. But you have to have conversations with people who disagree with you if you want to build coalitions to push back, because you are going to find there are a lot of things Donald Trump does that I agree with, but then there are things I think are dangerous, reckless, and want to call out. So you have to be able to talk to people who, it doesn't have to be all this or all that, but find movement on the things that matter.
It's hard to talk to people who support people who think you don't matter in the country.
But it's not supporting them.
Like, just the hate, y'all. The hate, the nasty, the negativity. It's hard to talk to people. Like, you could hear it in her voice, guys. I almost spit my water out hearing it, but like, they just cannot get over themselves.
It's hard to talk to people who support people who think you don't matter in the country.
But it's not supporting the person, though.
But when you support that person, right, it brings Go ahead.
But I don't support
Go
that
ahead.
person. My point being that I don't disagree with everything Trump is doing, so we have to be able to have conversations, but we do agree on these
Right,
things, so
but-
how can we all get together on
Well,
these?
when we
Exactly.
find the stuff that we agree on, that's what we do.
Yeah,
But when we
They never do though. It never happens. It never ceases to amaze me how these ladies go against common sense and logic when it comes to Donald Trump. If it came out of Donald Trump's mouth or anybody associated to him, guess what? It's wrong. They're gonna go against it every single time.
Together on
Well,
those
when we
issues.
find the stuff that we agree on, that's what we do.
Yeah,
But when we find the stuff that is disagreeable to the majority, now, I didn't find anything of interest for me in Project 2025. I didn't feel like this was geared to us as a nation. I felt it was geared to very specific folks, and that bothered the poo out of me. But I understand what you're saying, and yeah, we do have to talk to each other. That's the beauty. That's the thing.
Look at Alyssa's face, guys. You can tell this is the face that everyone, if you're ever have a conservative viewpoint, you're trying to speak a little logic or rationale to these folks on the left, and they just shut it down in order to push their false narratives. Look at this face that Alyssa gives. You can just tell that she is fed up with it, guys. Like, you can't get through to these people. It's like yelling at a brick wall when it comes to trying to throw a little bit of common sense over there to the Dems. Look at her face. She's defeated. She's like, I'm done. I'm not going to say anything else. And I understand her.
But I understand what you're saying, and yeah, we do have to talk to each
doesn't.
other. That's the beauty. That's the thing. When people tell you who they are, they got to believe them.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. Whoopi Goldberg is very tough to take. I mean, that right there is Trump derangement syndrome, if I've ever seen it before. How can you combat the facts that Alyssa is bringing to the table, where she's saying just be open, be a little bit more open to hear folks across party lines, folks that are in association with Donald Trump. You know, don't be so quick to slam it down. Hear them out first. At least be able to say, I listened to them and now I don't agree with what they're saying, versus just forming your opinion before they even get their viewpoint out. It's so sad to see, and this right here is once again why it's so tough to come to that table and, you know, speak across party lines when it comes to, you know, Republicans trying to talk to the Democrats and, you know, just reason with them. You know, we're neighbors. We're all in this together at the end of the day. It's so sad to see that they have such a negative and hateful position. I hope this doesn't speak for all the Dems, but as we all know, we've had people try to sit down, tried to bring logic to the table, tried to reason with it, but guess what? It's like talking to a brick wall, y'all. Definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one week.